oftentimes we think that financial management, financial literacy, understanding how finances impact empowering somebody is a middle class issue. And low-income women have largely been left behind, I think. And it's impacting them every single day in countless ways.
Our women are carrying a lot of shame around their history with money. And until that can be acknowledged, then our women can't move forward.
By partnering with Budget Buddies, we've been able to bring an invaluable service to YWCA families that they might not otherwise get.
I've always felt, for women in particular, but for anyone, that if you control your finances, you control your future. I think it's a very, very important piece of empowering women to give them control over their money and to make them feel like they know what they're doing. This is not something that we're teaching in the schools, and so we have generations of women who've never had any financial education. We help women help themselves by teaching them basic financial principles and making them feel confident about their ability to control their finances.
We make them believe in themselves that they can handle their money and therefore they can handle their lives.
Budget Buddies comes in and doesn't judge and embraces our women where they're at. There are decisions that our residents can make, our homeless mothers can make, about how they spend, how they save, how they acquire, and how they plan for their futures, that they never knew that they had those options. For the first time in their lives, they've had someone to talk about money with.
It has more impact than just on those women themselves, because many of them are heads of household. So it's just not impacting them in some sort of vacuum. It's impacting how they interact with their children, what they teach their children, how the household functions better as a result of more control over money.
It's a 6-month program, roughly 12 workshops. Each buddy, that's the client, the buddy, the person in the shelter, gets their own coach just for them for the 6 months.
The research shows that mentoring in financial education is definitely the wave of the future. It makes a huge difference. Everybody gets one coach to herself. The buddy knows that the coach is dedicated just to her. I mean, keep in mind that many of our buddies have never had anyone in their lives dedicated just to them and their well-being.
We're going to talk a lot about savings tonight.
Over 6 months, we have the time to really change people's attitudes about themselves, their attitudes toward money, and their attitudes sort of toward the whole economic system as a whole.
The coach attends the workshop with the buddy, but then they meet every other week one-on-one and talk about the buddy's own progress.
But once we teach them and we make small successes of their finances, they call the credit bureau and they call the lender that they owe money to, they get empowered and they carry it forth after Budget Buddies is over, which is our main mission, to give them tools that they'll use for the rest of their lives.
I don't think there's another program like Budget Buddies. It's a dream come true.
It works. They've discovered a formula that I haven't seen. And I've been around a very, very long time. I have not seen this formula where coaches that, are from a very different backgrounds, socioeconomically, educationally, they come in and they build these bridges and they empower our very, very poor families.
They have a wonderful product that they bring to you, and you see the results of it, and you see it impacting the families that you work with. And speaking for YWCA Lowell, we are going to be partners forever because we want more and more of our families to be so positively affected by the programming.
The need is there. The need is everywhere. What Budget Buddies needs to do is make that growth thoughtful. So far, that is what we have been able to achieve.
It's been really crafted as an organization to be extremely successful at achieving the service goals that they're trying to do and do that consistently from a sustainable standpoint. Budget Buddies is able to really confidently convey that. The unique aspect of what Budget Buddies does, the one-on-one buddy-coach relationship for 6 months, is really something not replicated by anybody else right now. That tied with their very specific ability to say, the dollars create this effect, on the individuals, your dollars can't go to anybody else to do the same thing.
As I've had the opportunity to meet people who have gone through the process, gone through the programming, worked with their buddies, and you can just see their life stories and see how they've changed and see really people making a difference. Budget Buddies is making it happen in our communities, and it needs to happen throughout the Commonwealth.
There are many, 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 many more women in our community who could benefit from Budget Buddies. And if they're doing 10 groups, they should do 20. If they're doing 200, they should do 500, because this impacts so many women. Budget Buddies is really able to deliver on a product and really able to affect change with low-income women.